It's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, the President of the Association of Flight Attendants, Sara Nelson. Since 2014, Sister Nelson has led AFA, which represents 55,000 flight attendants working at 20 different airlines. On your way to LA, I'm sure most of you had the pleasure of interacting with some of President Nelson's dedicated members. She began her career in 1996 as a United flight attendant. In her tenure as president, she has helped flight attendants achieve numerous legislative victories, including payroll, health care, and other benefit support for flight attendants during the pandemic, and increasing required federal minimum rest for flight attendants. She's achieved all this while focusing on strategic organizing efforts to bring more flight attendants into AFA's ranks. While no one fights harder for flight attendants than President Nelson, she's also a fierce advocate for all workers. Never afraid to back down from a fight or stand up for what's right. She always goes to bat for workers every single day. Please join me in welcoming my dear friend, our sister, the President of the Association of Flight Attendants, Sara Nelson.
I love it. Brian just told me we're not streaming, so you can say whatever the hell you want. Good morning, letter carriers! As you heard, my name is Sara Nelson. I'm president of the Association of Flight Attendants, representing 55,000 flight attendants at 20 airlines. Flying over us right now, raining down solidarity on this convention. I gotta tell you, this is my favorite convention to go to in the entire labor movement, and I am happy to be back here, but I have a bone to pick with you because I haven't been here since 2018. President Renfro and the Executive Council, thank you so much for the invite to be here. I love being with our letter carriers, and the truth is that between flight attendants and letter carriers, we've got the public covered. We know our people. And I want you to know that the Association of Flight Attendants stands with you in every single fight. I know you have elections coming up, and so President Renfro, make sure that the next elected group running this great union has my cell phone number. You know, last time I was here, I was talking about the fact that I could relate to the fact that there was an attempt to try to dismantle our public postal service by having a retirement pre-funding mandate that was put in place the same year that our pension at United Airlines was terminated. And I'll just remind you that that happened on the backs of September 11th. I was a 5-year flight attendant, got involved in our union for various reasons, and by that time was already serving as our national strike chair. But I was also a Boston-based flight attendant who on that day, yeah, Boston! I'm from Oregon too, where's Oregon? All right, I was working in Chicago, where's Chicago? All right, I think the Midwest wins, but we're in LA. Okay. All right, so on that day, I didn't know it at the time, but I watched as my friends hit the South Tower of the World Trade Center because every camera was trained on that site because American Airlines Flight 11 had hit the North Tower 17 minutes earlier. So I know the exact moment that Amy and Michael and Amy, Catherine, Al, Alicia, Robert, Marianne, and Jesus lost their lives. And our profession changed forever. What I didn't know in that moment was that there were crisis capitalists planning to take away everything that we had built up in our unions over the 65 years previous. They were planning to redefine the value of a flight attendant, a pilot, a mechanic, a gate agent. They were planning to outsource the kitchens and the sky caps so they could hire people for the lowest wages with no benefits. I learned that unchecked capitalism has no place in our economy, and it is only our unions that give working people a fair shot. And so we did see our pensions terminate over the course of all the bankruptcies that ensued. But as we said, just because our pensions were terminated didn't mean that your pension should be at risk. And so instead of saying that we wouldn't stand with you because we lost ours, we said we lost ours, so we're going to fight like hell to save yours. And in solidarity, we did that in 2022. Hell yeah, NALC! And it wasn't just about your pensions, it was about saving the People's Post Office so that we could have that as a service for all Americans. Right now, our union is fighting a greedy business model that pays some flight attendants 45% less for doing the same job. Flight attendants like those who safely evacuated 80 people in Toronto last year when an aircraft crashed and flipped upside down. From the ranks of those flight attendants, we have an AFA member running for Congress too. Where's Minnesota? District 2, Kayla Berg is running for Congress. And we're also mounting a campaign to organize 30,000 Delta flight attendants who are trying to fight for their union and their first contract. More on that later. So our fight is the same as the entire working class. And let me just say that our country is not divided. That is the union busters at work, the 4 Ds of union busting: divide, delay, distract, and demoralize. And if any one of those are at work, it's the union busters, it's not our neighbors. Our fight is the same as the entire working class, and ever since Ronald Reagan fired the air traffic controllers in 1981, unions have been on the decline, removing the one check that we all have on corporate greed. They've stolen our money and our time. They've pushed us out of our homes into medical debt and attacked our right to an education. Income inequality is worse today than it was right before the Great Depression. Picture this. If you stack $100 bills, well, wait a minute, does anybody in here know what those look like? But if you stack $100 bills high enough to reach one of our flights at 35,000 feet, that's nearly 7 miles in the air, it would only be enough to equal less than 1% of Elon Musk's wealth. Until their big breakup in Washington, Musk was the unelected, self-appointed president who pushed DOGE on all of us to try to take it all by breaking our government, firing federal workers, including our veterans. Where's our veterans in here? Let's thank them. Unions stand up for our veterans too when our government shits on them. And they canceled union contracts for more than a million federal workers. He and his oligarch buddies in and out of the government are still trying to dismantle our public post office that you all know so well is older than our Constitution and provides critical connectivity for rural areas, delivering medicine to our seniors, and equality in price for all Americans. They're trying to steal our private data and are pushing to privatize everything, even the currency we use, the US dollar. It appears that Musk, Bezos, Thiel, and the other tech oligarchs and media oligarchs answer to no one. But that's not true. They answer to the workers at Amazon, Whole Foods, X, Warner Brothers, Paramount, OpenAI, Tesla, Delta, SpaceX, when they form their union. They think that dismantling the NLRB will stop workers from organizing, but they're wrong. 100 years ago, workers didn't have legal rights. They organized and built solidarity, set their demands, conducted mass strikes against the coal barons, the textile industry, the auto companies, and on our docks. There were general strikes in cities across our country. That's the working class power that had corporations begging for the stability of labor law, and it gave FDR the power to sign into law Social Security, workplace safety, wage and hour protections, the minimum wage, and the right to join a union. So letter carriers, take this in. Musk and the other oligarchs have money and control, but we have the power. Nothing can move without our labor, and it's time to exercise our power as a united working class. Turn to the people around you. Commit to call or text each other. Say, hey, we're flying Delta. Let's put on our AFA supporter button and help 30,000 flight attendants join our movement. Pick up your button at the letter carrier political fund booth. You got that? Right on. We appreciate your help. How many of you in here know a Delta flight attendant? Raise your hand. I knew it. That's a lot of people. We're going to win this just on these hands in the room. Commit right now to call them and tell them to sign their physical authorization card that is only good for 1 year. And if they've already signed it, tell them to put on their union button. And if they've already put on their union button, tell them to get more engaged in getting their union and their contract, because Delta made more profits than the rest of the airline industry combined. And that is the kind of inequality that we all have to fight. That's our money. Our time. Or say to the person next to you, I heard there's a picket line with striking workers. Let's both grab some friends and meet up there. A couple of events and we've all trained an activist. Get them to start bringing 10 friends and you're an organizer. Build your union. We don't need certification to be a union. Solidarity is a force stronger than gravity. And it takes stopping, and if it takes stopping everything to get what we need, then let's get ready to do it. Reject every attempt to distract and divide us. You know, my church has 3 words on the wall. God is love. No one is born with racism, sexism, or bigotry in their heart. These are the tactics of the boss to keep us from exercising our power and claiming our fair share. Everything good we have is because people fought and died for our rights. Social justice is tied directly to economic justice. On Dr. King's last night alive in Memphis, he told the crowd of striking sanitation workers that he had been to the mountaintop. He said he had seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but we as a people will get there. Dr. King knew that no one person or one leader can do it alone. With those words, he deputized all of us to take up the fight for freedom. And now it's on us, NALC. It's our time to fight with nonviolent action. It's our time to strike. It's our time to build our union. If you want a good job with a living wage, build your union. If you want a decent home, build your union. If you want health care as a human right, build your union. If you want a good education without a death sentence, build your union. If you want the right to read and speak the truth, build your union. If you want to pass the Protect Our Letter Carrier Act, build your union. If you want to tell ICE to get the hell out of our streets and let us do our jobs for the people, build our union. If you want the right to protest our government and love the immigrants and Native Americans who have always made our country great, build our union. If you want a world where we can breathe the air, drink water, hike, run, swim, and ski in our parks, build your union. If you want a time and space for all of us to live, grow, and love, build your union. And if you want to tell the boss to kiss your ass, build your union. So fight like hell, letter carriers. Build your union. Flight attendants have got your back. We know you've got ours. Let's go build our union. Build your union. Mwah.
Great job. Great job. Here, we got something for you. I don't know what it is. Yes, it's been too long since Sister Nelson has been with us, as she pointed out. So let's give her an extra loud letter carrier cheer. Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! Thank you.